Hello everyone and welcome back. This is class 7, subject social science, chapter number 7 of geography. As we have already covered all the topics of this chapter, so today we are going to take the recapitulation of the chapter, and our chapter name is Human Environment, Settlement, Transport and Communication there in Human Environment. So it's going to be our summary lecture. Let's see the topics that we recapitulate today. They are settlement, types of settlements, communication, transport, then different types of transport like roadways, railways, waterways, airways, and at last there will be the homework. Today you will be getting one assignment for doing on the basis of this chapter. So let's start the recapitulation of the chapter one by one. The topics will take. Settlement. The first topic that we have covered in this chapter, that was settlement. Settlements are the places where people build their homes. Means the settlements are the places where people they live in. They build their homes or houses. Now, the places where a settlement develops is called its site. Where the different settlements they develop, they are known as sites. Now, that settlements development depends on some conditions that the people they really select before making the settlement, before building their settlement at particular place. Which are those conditions that they select? They are, first of all, they must think about the availability of water, because that is really important for their daily need. Then they really think about the favorable climate, or you can say the suitable climate, the fertile soil, the suitable land also for making the settlement. So these are some of the points or some of the conditions that people think about for before building the settlement. Now, the next thing that we have covered, that was development there in settlement. Means from the past time till now at present time, what a development they took place there in settlement. If we talk about early human being, they lived on trees and in caves. They did when they started growing crops, they needed the permanent shelters. As we know that in starting the human beings, they were just dependent on the nature. They were hunter gatherers only, and they were spending their life there on the trees and in caves. Whenever they according to the seasons, they were moving from one place to another. But as they started growing the crops, they needed the permanent shelters, because they needed to take care of their plants or their crops there. That's why they started living the life there in the permanent shelters. Then what development? The settlements grew near the water sources due to the availability of water. That was also important thing that we noticed there in the past also. If we take some examples like Indus Valley civilization or Harappa civilization that grew there near Indus river. We can take example of the Mesopotamia civilization that was also near the water sources. We can take example of Roman Empire. So these all are the examples that we can see there in history also, that different settlements they grew near the water sources. And what was the reason? Availability of water for their daily need. Most settlements in the past grew near river valleys that we have already discussed. So this is the development that we have seen from the past till now. And now at present we can see the settlement, those are developed in our surrounding, in rural areas as well as in the cities or urban areas. They are developing day by day. So that is the development they are in the settlement. Now the next topic was types of settlement, permanent settlement and temporary settlement. These are the main types of settlement. Otherwise, so there are different categories of defining the different type of settlement. But two main that we talk about, they are permanent settlement and temporary settlement. Temporary settlement. By the name we can identify which is for the temporary purpose and which is for the short time. Settlements which are occupied for a short period of time are called temporary settlement. Means the place that is used by the people for short time for living there, that is known as the temporary settlement. And the people living in temporary settlements are involved in activities like hunting gathering and shifting cultivation, transhumance. Transhumance means seasonal movement of the people with their animals from one place to another. So these are some activities that people do with those live there in the temporary settlement. We know that hunter-gatherers, according to the seasons, according to the availability of the animals, they move from one place to another. Shifting cultivation, there also the people, they used to clear a patch of land for growing crop. After some time, when fertility, the place lose its fertility, definitely the people, they move to the another place. So that is shifting cultivation. Transhumance, as I told you, that seasonal movement of the people in which they move from one place to another with their herds in search of pastures for them, that is the transhumance. So these are some activities that people do, those live there in the temporary settlement. The next is permanent settlement, that is there permanently, we can say. The type of settlement in which people build their homes to live in permanently, that is means for longer time, that is known as permanent settlement. The next type, next category that we can take here, types of settlements on the basis of livelihood, and they are categorized as rural settlement and urban settlement. As we know that the people living in rural areas means the people living in villages, as rural that related to the villages, they are mostly dependent on agriculture. There are different other activities also that we'll discuss. And urban settlement, the people that is related to the cities or town, and the people living there in the urban settlement, obviously they are dependent on the services or the manufacturing work, isn't it? So here we are taking this category as on the basis of livelihood. Rural settlements are found in villages. The villages are rural settlements engaged in activities like agriculture, fishing, forestry, craft work, etc. That depend on the area. Like fishing is there, so definitely the villages near the coastal areas, they are involved in fishing, but the main activity is agriculture. Rural settlements can be compact or scattered. That will discuss what is this compact and scattered settlement. Here in these pictures you can see, I will tell about that. A compact settlement is closely built area of dwelling wherever flat land is available. We know that on the flat land it is really easy to make the human habitation. The place for living there for human being, they are on the flat area. And in flat area, obviously these type of compact settlement they are found, where the houses they are closely built to each other. So this is the compact settlement. In picture number 1 you can see the houses, those are really closely built there. Now what is this dispersed or scattered? Scattered settlement, how in scattered settlement houses are few and far from each other. It is known as dispersed settlement also. Dispersed means bikhra hua, scattered also. So in picture number 2 you can see the houses, those are very far from each other. Very few houses you can see here. This is a type of scattered settlement. and this scattered settlement basically more found there in the hilly regions or the forested areas. So this is all about the compact and the scattered settlement that we have done in our chapter. Next is urban settlement. An urban settlement is a concentrated settlement that is part of an urban area. It is an area with high density of human created structure. As we know that there are cities or towns, the smaller centered areas, they are known as towns, and the larger centered areas, they are known as cities. So urban settlements, they are mostly densely populated areas. So and with the human created structure as well as human resources. So that urban settlement, that is just related to the parts of urban areas where people live. This is the urban settlement. People are engaged there in urban settlement in manufacturing, trading and services. Means the people living there in urban areas, most of them, they are involved in the secondary and tertiary activities, as we discussed in 6th standard also about the secondary, tertiary and primary activities. So the people living in urban areas, most of them, they are involved, they are in secondary and tertiary activities. Tertiary activities involve all the services, and manufacturing work, that is there in the secondary activity. So this is all about the urban settlement. The next topic that we have done, different types of houses according to environment. As we know that in India, in different part we have the different types of houses that just dependent on the environment or the climate of that particular place. Here we have some of the examples, like in the regions of heavy rainfall, houses have the slanting roofs. Not only in the heavy rainfall, we can take here the example of heavy snowfall areas. The houses have the slanting roof so that the snow that can slide down from the roofs easily. Then the second example, places where water accumulates in the rainy season. The houses are constructed on raised platform. The areas where in the rainy season the areas remains filled with the water or water accumulates areas, they are the houses, they are constructed on the raised platform, or we can say the stilt houses. Those are built on the you can say on poles. The structure that is based on the base was has been taken as the poles, and on raised structure the houses they are built, they are known as stilt houses. So these type of houses are found. Then next example we can take, thick mud walled houses with thatched roofs are found in hot climate. You know that in hot climate the temperature that remains very high. So to get rid from that high temperature, the people, they used to build the houses of mud because it remains cool. If we take the in comparison to the bricks or the other material, so that's why the houses, they are made up of thick mud and thick mud walled houses they are, and they use the thatch there in the roofs. So these are some of the houses that we have taken. They are found there according to the environment. So this is about the settlement that we covered. Now next is transport. Transport is the means by which people and goods move from one place to another. The transport, that is a means by which people they move and goods they are carried from one place to another. Okay, so here also, as we talked about the development there in the settlement, here also we can take that the development in transport. As we know, in the starting, human beings, they just walk on their feet. They were covering the distances by walking only, and they were carrying the loads on the backs of animals. But as the time passes, with the new developments, different means of transport we are having at present, that are really helpful for us for moving from one place to another. So let's see. In the early days, people used animals for transportation like donkey, elephants, okay, and camels, different type of animals according to the environment where they are found. They were used in the early days. It took really a long period of time to travel on long distances on the foot, or you can take example of animals. And animals also, it really took a long period of time to travel for the long distances. Invention of wheel made transport easier for us, for human being. As we know that invention of wheel near about 3500 BC, when wheel was invented, it made the journey easier for human being. With the passage of time, transport developed. Now at present we have the different kinds of means of transport with us, and we are using the transport for moving from one place to another. So this is the development there due to the different technological skills that we are using. The new technologies, they are in transport now. Now, four major means of transport. As we already covered, four major means of transport are roadways, railways, waterways and airways. So, we will recapitulate all four now. The first is roadways. The most commonly used means of transport for short distances are roadways. Obviously, the people, they prefer to go by road when they used to cover the short distances. This is most commonly used transport, means of transport. These can be metalled and unmetalled. Plains, they have highly density of roads. They are metalled and unmetalled. We are talking here about the roads. Roads can be metalled and unmetalled. Metalled road means the pakka roads, and unmetalled kacha road. If we talk about at present time period, there in villages even the metalled roads are found. Okay, because as the development that is going, and the people, they are in rural areas, they are also educated, they also know about everything. So the facilities, they are also getting the facilities from the government. So they are also having the metalled road. And plains, we know that flat area it has. So obviously in flat area it is easy to construct the roads. So they are highly density of the roads, they are in the plain area. Next is the roads, those are built underground, are called subways or underparts. The roads you might have seen, those are built underground. They are known as subways. Flyovers are built over the raised structure that we discussed. Manali Leh highway in the Himalayan mountain is one of the highest roadways in the world. If we take the example of highest roadways there in the world, that is Manali to Leh, they are in the world, the highest roadways, isn't it? So this is all about the roadways. If any short note is there, you can take these examples there of the roadways, and you can take example. But nowadays, as the skills or the technology that is developing, so different roads they are found, they are in the mountains terrains also, means mountainous areas also. Okay, then we also discuss different categories of the roads, those are found in India, like expressways, fine quality of the best quality of roads there in India, national highways, state highways, district highways. Okay, and one we have done the golden quadrilateral that connect the four main cities of India, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. So these several national or state highways we talked about, and different categories of the roads we talk about there in India. So this is all about the roadways. Then railways. Railways run on tracks and carry heavy loads over long distances quickly. We know that The railways, we cannot say it as a roadways. It is land transport, but we cannot take there in the road transport. Okay, so railways run on the tracks and they carry heavy goods, heavy loads over the long distances quickly and comfortably. The journey of railway, that is really comfortable for the people also. We can travel even during the night easily, comfortably in the trains. Invention of diesel and electric engine have largely replaced the steam engines. That is really in starting the engines, those were basically found there, the steam engines or the coal engines. But now that place has been taken by diesel and electric engines. Now, super fast trains have made the journey faster. The super fast trains, those are started, they are really useful to cover the journey, to cover the distances very soon. Indian railway network is the largest in Asia. If we talk about the network there in India of railways, that is the largest in Asia. If we talk about the longest railway system there in the world, that is from St. Petersburg in Western Russia to Vladivostok. Clear? And if we talk about the highest point there of the train from Zaining and Lhasa, that run at the altitude of 4,000 above the sea level, and the highest point there, that is 5,072 meter. So we can say that the railways, they also reach up to the height of 5,000 meters. The Trans-Siberian Railways is the longest railway system connecting St. Petersburg in Western Russia to Vladivostok. This is the longest railway system. With the help of advanced technological skills, railway lines are laid in difficult mountain terrains also. As I told you that now this railway tracks, they are found there in the mountainous area also. The railway lines, they are laid there in the mountains also due to the advanced technological skills. This is about the railways. Now the third one is waterways. Waterways are the cheapest means of transport that we discuss. In the advantages of waterways, waterways are used to carry heavy and bulky goods over long distances. So the heavy or the big material, the goods, they are taken there through the waterways easily for the long distances. There are two kinds of waterways. Number one, inland waterways inside a country, you can say, that is useful to have the transportation inside a country, and sea routes, that is really helpful or important for transportation between the countries. Let's see. Inland waterways. India has an extensive network of inland waterways in the form of rivers, canals, lakes, etc. And the most important is river Ganga and Brahmaputra, that river system. Important inland waterways are the Ganga Brahmaputra river system, Great Lakes there in North America, and the river Nile in Africa. In the Great Lakes, why it is written? Because there are different lakes, the 5 lakes, they are together, they are in North America. So these are the examples you can write there for the inland waterways inside a country. The next is sea routes. As I told you, they connect the country to country for transportation. Sea routes and ocean routes are mostly used for transporting goods from one country to another, that I explained you. These routes are connected with ports. Now what is this port? The place where ships, they are loaded or unloaded, that is known as port. The important ports of the world are Singapore and Mumbai in Asia, New York and Los Angeles are in North America. Rio de Janeiro in South America. There are different others are there like Sydney in Australia. And if we talk about particularly about India, there are Kandla, Kochi, Mumbai, Chennai, different ports those are found, those are important there in India. The next is airways, the fourth one, airways. This is the fastest means of transport by which we can reach to our destination quickly, very fast. So that's why it is known as the fastest means of transport. One of the quality, it is only the means of transport in the most remote areas, that we can see in sometimes the places where the roads and railways they can't reach there. By airways there the people can reach there. Okay, so that we can say that it is only means of transport in the most remote areas. One of the advantage of it, helicopters are the most useful means of transport at the time of calamities. They help in rescue operations. They help to rescue the people at the time of natural calamities like flood is there. Everywhere the water that is filled in that area, so it is really difficult to run the trains or the roadways. In that conditions, the helicopters are there and they help the people for giving the basic things to them like food, clothes. So this is all about the airways and what are the advantages of airways. Now we will take some of the example of airport. Some important airports are Delhi, Mumbai, New York, London, Paris, etc. Clear? So we will take the examples now. Now it's time to have discussion on the disadvantages of airways. That these are advantages we have done. Disadvantages, it is the most expensive means of transport. And why it is most expensive? Because the fuel that is used there in the planes, that is really more expensive. That's why the journey there in airways, that is most expensive. Second, it is difficult to carry bulky goods there. The heavy goods we cannot take there in the aeroplanes, so it is difficult to carry bulky goods there. Then air traffic is adversely affected by bad weather. Again, correct the spelling, adversely affected by bad weather like fog and storm. If foggy weather is there or storm is there, so definitely it is very difficult for the aeroplanes to move. So these are disadvantages of airways. The next topic is communication, by which we can convey our messages. This is our last topic of this chapter. Communication is the process of conveying messages and thoughts with others. So when we convey our messages and thoughts to others, means we are communicating to that particular person. Like we can take example of newspaper. In newspaper, different messages are given, different thoughts are given that different people they read. That is a means of mass media also. Telephone, mobile phones, internet, or even the books also. They all are the different kinds of the mode of communication by which we share our ideas, we share our messages. Utility of communication. The achievement in the field of communication has brought information revolution in the world. We know that at present, if we talk about within seconds we can talk to the people who is sitting there in any part of the world. So that brought really the information revolution in the world just because of communication skill. Next, mass media like TV, radio, newspaper, they are used to give information to a large number of people at one time. That is really within one thing or one means, one media, we are able to give the messages to a large number of people at the same time. Satellite, they also help in survey of the forest, weather forecast, disaster warning, availability of minerals there. So these different information, they can be collected with the help of satellite. Wireless communication has become very popular today. Wireless communication, in which we have the mobile phones. We can talk to any person anywhere, because we keep that mode of communication with us in our pockets even without any wire. So wireless communication, that has become popular today among the societies or among the world. Now the next thing, the world is coming closer or together, or you can say the world is shrinking. The people, they are coming to closer to each other, and the reason just that is communication, because with the help of, and transport also, but with the help of communication, within seconds we can reach to any part of the world, because you know that we can talk to any person who is sitting there anywhere in any country of the world. They are within seconds, isn't it? So here we can write, people can communicate with anyone across the world while sitting at their home. Communication can cover the long distances within the shortest period of time. That is true, because within seconds, as I told you, we can talk to any person. Next is, this is the means that by which we can connect to the people of any part of the world. So that's why we can say the world is shrinking and the world is coming closer to each other. So this is all about that communication. So we have covered all the topics. Again we have recapitulated, like settlement, communication and transport. I hope that all the topics are cleared to you now. Now it's time for homework. As I told you, an assignment I will give. So quickly we'll take that assignment, because it will be uploaded definitely on EdQuark also. Fill in the blanks. Number 1, dash and dash engines have largely replaced the steam engines. Settlements can be dash or dash. Number 3, thick mud walled houses and thatched roofs are very common in areas of dash climate. Dash is the means by which people and goods move. Next is the fifth one, you can see that. Number 2, question number 2, which Asian country has the largest railway network? Number 3, which type of road is constructed under the ground? Which mode of transport is most suitable to reach an island? Number 5, why air travel is so expensive, means airways. Number 6, what is sight? Number 7, which cities are linked by the golden quadrilateral? Number 8, what do people practice in temporary houses, settlements? There you will write the activities they perform. What are the materials used in building houses in rural areas? That will write. Number 10, it is, name some animals used for carrying goods in India. Number 11, why did the early settlements grow near river valleys? So these 11th. Now the 12th question, it is, which is the highest roadways in the world? Number 13, which type of transport is used for short distances? Which is the longest railway system? Name some important inland waterways. We have already covered. How did people travel in the past? That you will write. 17, it is, what is transhumance? 18, how sea and ocean routes are important. Number 19, when are helicopters useful? Where do you find dwelling made of ice? That we already discussed. You know also that the dwelling or the houses made of ice are igloo, and they are basically found in the areas covered with the snow. And who makes them and what are they called? They are made by the Eskimos there. So you'll write that was left there to discuss. Question number 21. Write some important parts of the world. Write some important ports of the world, not parts, ports of the world. So these are the questions that we will attempt. Now it's time for homework solution of lecture 2. What are the 4 means of transport? The 4 means of transport are roadways, railways, waterways and airways. You will write something about these all. They are in the register. Mention any 3 merits of railways. The 3 merits of railways are: the railways carry goods, heavy goods and people over long distances quickly. The constructions of super fast trains have made the journey faster now. Next, third one is, it provides comfortable journey even during the night. So these are 3 merits you will write. Question number 3, it is, what do you understand by communication? Write its utility. Communication is the process of conveying messages and thoughts with others. Utility of communication. Number 1, the achievement in the field of communication has brought information revolution in the world. Next is, mass media like TV, radio, newspaper, books, they are also used to give information to a large number of people at one time. That is also the utility of communication. Satellite help in survey of forest, weathercast, forecast, disaster warning, etc. Number 4, wireless communication has become very popular today. So these all points you can write there in utility of communication, means how we are using the communication now. Question number 4, it was, today's world is shrinking. Give reason for this statement. People can communicate with anyone across the world while sitting at their home. Number 2, communication can cover the long distances within the shortest period of time. This has enabled the people to easily get a contact with anyone in any part of the world. That's why, this is the reason, that's why we can say today's world is shrinking. Write 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages of airways. Firstly, we will take advantages. Number 1, this is the fastest means of transport. Number 2, it is the only means of transport that is mostly used in the remote areas. The means of transport in the most remote areas. Helicopters are most useful means of transport at the time of natural calamity. They help in rescue operations or to rescue the people. And disadvantages, they are, it is the most expensive means of transport. It is difficult to carry bulky goods. Air traffic is adversely affected by bad weather as fog and storm. Number 6, write a short note on roadways. The most commonly used means of transport for short distances are roadways. These can be metalled and unmetalled. Plains have high density of roads. Number 3, the roads those are built underground are subways or underpath. Manali-Leh highway in the Himalayan mountains is one of the highest roadways in the world. And here more points you can write. You can write here that the roadways, if we talk about today's world, now the roadways, that facility that is there, the developing, they are in the areas of mountains also. So you can write the other points also here in the short note of roadways. So this is for today. Thank you and have a nice day. Then in the next lecture, firstly we will be getting one test of this chapter, then we will be meeting again for the further lecture. Thank you.